Hello and welcome back to the channel. Today I'm using one nuke to try and defeat 100 pawns against Martin. The nuke moves like every piece combined. Let's get started with game number one. Alright, game number one, as you can see we do have this absolute brick of pawns in front of us, which is 5x20 for a total of 100 pawns. Now by far my greatest concern is that one of these pawns should promote, because even though this is Martin never misses a checkmate in one move. So one extra queen or maybe even two extra queens is probably enough for him to thrash us around and get checkmate. Now I do have this wonderful little nuke to play with, which as you can see moves like every chess piece combined, but unfortunately there are no weaknesses in this position. Martin has a very concrete starting position. So I'm just going to centralize the nuke and hope that, I forgot that pawns can move twice on the first turn, but luckily we do have eyes on this pawn. So for these first couple of moves, I think I just play catch and grab any pawns that happen to walk into the line of sight of the nuke, and if there are no free pawns, I was going to say maybe I could put the king to work, but to be totally honest, he's mostly here just to be my weakness. So I'm just going to keep centralizing the nuke, and as these pawns walk right past, right on cue, thanks Martin, I'll go ahead and pick up these free pawns. So I'm going to snipe these up, and as you can see, there are now little Swiss cheese holes in his brick of pawns, so eventually those will accumulate into weaknesses that I can actually take advantage of. Now this is the kind of move that I'm kind of afraid of, because normally with Martin, since he's very close to being just an RNG bot, you can kind of just wait for free pieces to fall out of the sky. But since he has 100 pawns to work with, he could eventually string together a sequence of moves where the pawns are actually protected all the way down until they promote. Pawn to b4 here being a good example. I'm not going to panic quite yet. I'll move my nuke back to the center of the board, and again, he's playing some very safe moves now, and I have really no choice but to wait around. Yeah, this is not good, because if he does, say, push here and then push here, and all of these pawns have a little buddy next to each other, they could all push safely one square ahead, and as powerful as the nuke is, there's just no way for him to catch all of those pawns. That is a horrible sign. Okay, maybe I just waddle my king over, because the other thing is now this pawn chain that reaches all the way back to what is, I guess, a8. This is an absolute skeleton of a pawn chain. I mean, I don't know how I'm supposed to like reach through that with my nuke. I frankly don't think it's possible. I will pick up this pawn for free, and to be honest, I was kind of hoping that these little Swiss cheese holes would feel much larger than I guess they actually are. Even though my king is here really just to balance the game so that I have a weakness just as Martin has a weakness, I'm gonna have to put him to work. He's gonna have to get active and start defending against some of these pawns. We'll grab this pawn as well. This was free, so I'm gonna move my nuke back over. Oh, but he's coming up with all of the pawns. Again, even though Martin is an RNG bot, he has 100 chances to string together a half-decent sequence of moves that eventually leads to promotion. And again, as powerful as this nuke is, it is up against 100 units. The smallest unit, the weakest unit, what have you, but 100 units no less. Okay, we'll move back to the first rank. We'll shuffle the king over. I don't love the fact that I'm putting my king to work. Oh, Martin is also getting some steps in for his king, but I really have no choice. Again, nuke, super powerful, but I need all hands on deck for this one. Okay, he seems to be making a lot of waiting moves. I'm still keeping an eye out for any like Swiss cheese sort of weaknesses in this brick of pawns that he has, because if I could just throw the nuke onto the back rank, that is instantly checkmate. I mean, Martin's king could be in this corner and my nuke could be on the opposite side of the board, and it would still be like the most ultimate back rank checkmate of all time, but it would still be checkmate. Right now, my best chances are probably on the right side of the board, so I should probably hang out here. Oh wait, I should also be chasing free pawns. I've just realized, for example, this pawn is totally free, and I really can't be wasting moves waiting around, because that's just walking into Martin's best chance of winning, which is just pushing pawns. So I'm going to grab absolutely anything that's free. I'm going to slide back, target this pawn like a knight, which I can pick up, and I've sort of undone this really nice pawn wall that he had going on. Now we have a whole new problem over here on the left side of the board. I will say I've played other variants like this, and I quite enjoy the feeling of the chessboard. Well, maybe not in this case because it works against me, but in other variants, when the board is like really big, it feels more like a battlefield where you can have like a little action going on this side, a little something else going on the right side of the board, and it feels more like war or battle instead of chess, which kind of, even though it's a representation of war, it feels more like a board game basically. But okay, back to hunting free pawns. I don't think there's anything I can snag up quite yet. This king is in a very precarious position. So I'm wondering if I should drag the nuke back over, but weirdly enough, I can't even target any of these pawns for free in one move, only this one. But even this pawn that's like right up against the face of my king is anchored back to this pawn and all the way back to the first rank of pawns that Martin has. So not really much I can do to untangle those. Let's go pawn hunting over here. Oh, catch you trying to run past. Now we've got some little Swiss cheese moments going on back here. I think that's a good thing. I'll catch this one, and since I do move like a knight, I do actually scoop past both of these pawns and stop them from being able to at least safely advance. All right, picking off free pawns as we go, perfect. And he hasn't made any more progress on the left side of the board. If anything, I'm kind of shaving down the entire right side of his army of pawns. If I could just get maybe like 1 or 2 more pawn moves such that I could position the nuke to get onto this 9th rank, and then of course in turn move on to the 10th rank, then I would get the like gnarliest back rank checkmate of all time. But I do think I have to be patient. I'm just very afraid we're gonna get like a check, king shuffles over, a little pawn push, check, and then it's gonna be mate in 1. And again, Martin never, oh, there's the check that I was afraid of. Martin never misses checkmate in 1. Hopefully we get followed up with a free pawn. Do I advance? If I advance, check, I get a free pawn, but he promotes. I think I have to stand in front of this pawn. Oh, and he's advancing slowly over here. Again, I've taken quite a few pawns. I think I've taken like 13 or 14 pawns, but he still has like, what, 80 plus pawns left to play with. I'm gonna risk it for the biscuit. I'm just gonna leave my nuke on the right side of the board. If I get run over on the left side, it is what it is, but I'm not gonna come and like hunt down pawns over here as well, just for him to run me over. Because he could, by the way, he could very easily run me over with all of these pawns, not just run over my king, but take the nuke out in the process. So I'm gonna keep my nuke nice and active on the right side of the board, and this king is about to do more work than he's ever thought he'd do in his entire life. He's gonna hold off all of these pawns, hopefully. Oh, they're getting so close to promotion. Okay, maybe I slide back so it doesn't continue to advance. Then we'll make some more waiting moves with the king, but this is so precarious. Okay, another pawn advances. Somehow this has not moved whatsoever. We need to find a way to convince Martin to move one of these pawns. But the thing is, I can't even sacrifice anything. I have a singular piece to my name, so it's not like I have a whole bunch of options here. But I do think, it's so risky, but I do think it's my best chance. We'll keep the nuke on this side of the board. Okay, we've got a couple of light squared weaknesses here. Now the problem is one pawn moves and behind it there's yet another. But eventually, if this kind of spreads out a little bit more, I could use its knight movement to jump over rows of pawns and eventually get to the back rank. Oh, but it's so precarious. He's so close to promoting almost everywhere. He could even just push like this outside pawn, and my nuke wouldn't even have a way to get all the way over there and stop it. So we're committing to the bit. We're just gonna hang out on the right side of the board. Maybe I do come for a few of these free pawns. Oh, we could easily get checkmated here, but we'll try our best to grab all of these pawns. So far, so good. We'll grab you as well. A lot of these are actually free. Okay, now he's totally protected. We'll jump back here, and then I can grab this pawn as well. He's like 2 moves away from checkmate in like 15 different ways, but I've got to, oh, wait. Now we're looking down this light square diagonal, and this is unstoppable, right? Yeah, it's unstoppable because I take this pawn. I was just gonna say, even if he moves here, which, oh, actually, that makes sense. He had to play there. Again, Martin, of course, never misses checkmate in 1 for himself, but he also never walks into checkmate in 1. Like, if you threaten checkmate in 1 move, say Scholar's Mate, he's not going to allow that. Even if he has to play a 2800 elo move, he will find that move and disallow the checkmate in 1. So he does move this forward, but interestingly enough, I can still give this check. He has only 1 legal move, but since I give a check like a knight, I don't need to get super close to the king. I can just give a check like a knight, and with that, we do checkmate Martin with 100 pawns. If you guys did enjoy this video, please consider liking and subscribing. Let me know down below what other freaky sort of setups I should do against Martin, and I'll see you guys in the next one.